welcome to the Nonsense Chronicles. This is Doug Sashry, and as always, I am joined by
Rob Mendiola.
Greetings, Rob.
Greetings.
Why does Hayden sound like he's in space?
He might be, man.
Yeah, because we have
our guests are maybe they're descending down on us.
That could be true, but hey, it's a fine Tuesday.
Gloomy day, but still good, man.
Yeah, very chilly day out today.
Chilly. It's going to get down into the 30s, I think, by the morning.
Yeah, I think I need to go out and protect a couple plants that I hadn't protected yet.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
meh.
Just buy new ones.
That's right. Now I got my new nose and everything, you know.
Yeah.
So
now you can actually go out and smell the roses.
Yeah, I can actually smell. I can
That's
actually
cool.
breathe through my damn nose for the first time that I can ever remember. So, hey, congratulations.
Well, what's up today, man? Let's do this.
Today we are talking with
Let's podcast.
Voice of the Enemy. They're out of, I'm going to just guess and say, I think they're out of Hammond, Louisiana. That's just a generalized location. Would that be correct?
Baton Rouge, Louisiana is our central point, but I live in Hayden.
That's
Okay.
right.
I'm in Baton Rouge.
Tyler is in Baton Rouge, and Hayden is in Hammond. Eggs.
Hayden of Hammond.
That's right.
Correct.
That sounds very British.
Correct. Yep.
Now, you know what these boys probably don't realize is, I don't know how many episodes ago, was it 4 or 5 episodes ago, we had an episode, we're talking about bringing up new music or giving music a try that you hadn't tried before. And usually it's with a localized band. I mean, sometimes it could be an older band that you hadn't listened to any of their newer stuff, but this was mostly on young bands or bands most people hadn't heard of. And Voice of the Enemy was my selection, one of my selections, and I said, what we wanted to do is let them listen to a track that you think that could attract them to that music. If that doesn't get them, then that might not be their thing. But I did do Heretic and Burn because I absolutely love both of those songs, and
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man,
And today we have both guitarists, right?
yeah. To be honest with you, I don't know how long Tyler's been in the band or if I've met him before.
I just joined the band yesterday.
See?
Oh, wow.
Well, that's true.
No.
Well, man, often
No,
running.
Tyler's been in the group about 5 or 6
Long time,
years.
Hayden. I think this is going on 9 years, 10
Wow.
years, something like that. I don't know.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It feels like shorter, to be honest with you. But
Time flies, man.
Yeah.
Hayden, I want to say it's probably around in the 7 to 10 year range, somewhere in that time frame.
Well, then
Tyler and I go back to college.
No, I was going to say we would have met then in Baton Rouge when y'all played.
Hmm.
That
Yeah,
had
because you came to
yeah, it did. What was it? Was it called the Varsity? I think.
it was and it's still there, but I think it's under new management now.
R.I.P.
But yeah, that was
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was our first national opener too. That was when we opened for I Hate God, I believe, was the one you went to.
That's right, and they refused to play. They refused to play "Burn," which is one of their best songs, but they didn't want to tone it down. They were too scared, I think, to play something that was.
We didn't want to go over time was the problem, because when you're on there with a bunch of other groups and then you got a band like I Hate God headline, and you don't want to. You got to rush that set.
Yeah, you don't want to piss off everybody.
Yeah, that's right.
That's for sure.
But yeah, you don't want to be that band,
Yeah,
right?
right.
That overstays their welcome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got to ask you. Okay, we've got other stuff to discuss, but what would be your? I mean, if you're not going to go with Heretic and Burn, what are your favorite 2 songs that y'all play, man? And you can't name the brand new song, which is Combustion.
Okay.
It's available everywhere. But
Damn, yeah, I was gonna say Combustion too.
It's a fun one.
You cannot say anything new. So if you before then, what would have been your two favorite songs?
Hey, you want to go
Tyler, I'll
first?
let
Yeah.
you go ahead and start first. On that.
Okay, that's fine. I really like a song from our previous record called Martyr. It's a fast, upbeat, kind of modern, just heavy groove. It's called Rise. It's something just different and unique that we did. It's kind of I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's fast, upbeat, punkish. It gets the crowd going. Everything. That's what I like. And I really liked playing a song that we that I started the group with, or I entered the band having to learn. It's called a song called Gunslinger. It's very kind of like throwback cowboyish, westernish type of vibe to it.
That sounds cool.
It's always a banger to play. So yeah, that's those got to be my two.
I was listening to a lot of Texas Hippie Coalition when I wrote that song.
Oh, cool.
Someone would probably say too much just because that song sounded a lot like THC. Not that it's a bad thing. I freaking love some THC, but like, yeah, like that's kind of the vibe that Gunslinger was that Tyler's alluding to. And to kind of piggyback off of that, Gunslinger was one of my favorite ones to play live before, especially since we used it as sort of a segue into a cover we did for a long time. We did Sound of Madness by Shinedown, and we used this little bridge part to start off that like kind of just got people like, into it.
Yeah.
So that little medley was my favorite. Apart from though, I think cause with this comeback show we're doing soon, we're having to kind of learn the newer songs that are on the EP, and so some other songs had to get shelved for a bit. But I think as far as the older ones go, I know, Doug, you said I couldn't say Heretics, but I gotta say that one because that solo.
No, I love Heretics. I love that. In fact, I said you couldn't say Combustion. You couldn't say New Song.
Fuck, Hayden, come on, dude.
Pay attention, damn it.
Let's rewind it.
I haven't had enough coffee tonight, man. Let me alone.
I absolutely love that song. That song is badass, man. And
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to play live too, because like I have this my endorsement guitars. I got to give a plug to Fireplant Guitars. Those guys have been really good to me since I've joined up with them. I have 2 twin V's that were done by them, and one of them that I use for the higher tune stuff, like Heretics. I recently put a kill switch on it, and so I can actually use that kill switch for the solo. Because when we did it in the studio, I did what I call the Ace Frehley technique, where I use the little toggle switch on the guitar and got the kill switch effect with that. Of course, I had to be difficult because the producer was like, dude, we can just edit that in. And I was like, no, dude, I have to use the toggle switch. So I think that's my little bit of flash, as the lead guitarist, that's my flashy solo. So I got to say Heretics and Gunslinger were my 2 favorites.
So I'm just picturing in my head when they were talking about playing that show, and they're like, hey, nobody stood up for Burn. Not one single damn person, man. That's the song that drew me into that band. But now, like I said, I'll probably like Heretics as much or more. But that song is really good. And
thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
certain songs are just funner to play on your guitar. So you gravitate toward them.
I don't care what he wants. No, I'm just kidding.
It's all the guitarists. If the guitarist ain't having fun, nobody's having fun.
Play what I told you to play, Fake Jesus or Fake Zach Wild, whichever you want to call him. Yeah, I call him both. But that's good, man. Look, it's time for y'all to get out and get playing. Y'all have been sitting on your hands since the pandemic.
Oh, I know. It's been so rough for us. As much as people have been wanting us to go back on stage, we've been dying to go back on stage, and we've been getting countless of show offers through the years. It's just we weren't ready. I'd rather wait and be perfect than go half-assed.
Yeah, because one of the things that we decided we were going to do, so like for the short version is the pandemic happened, then we parted ways with our old drummer. We got new drummer, Zach Cook, who's playing on this EP. And he lost a lot of his belongings in Hurricane Ida. And by a lot of his belongings, I mean damn near everything.
Damn.
Yeah. And it took him about a year to replace his drum kit. And so we had to work with what we had, which was an electronic kit. And that's how we actually ended up recording the drums for the EP, was with the electronic kit. And we just used MIDI and, sample replacement and all that. But, with all that going on, we couldn't get everything ready. And as the years were going on, one day I pulled everybody aside. I said, look, it might be time for us to invest in your monitoring system. And everybody was really on board with that. So we all pitched in. We big road cases and got our own personal mixer, in-ear monitor system, so we can all mix our own monitors. We got all the bells and whistles with that. And then we decided, well, we've already got in-ear monitors. Let's start learning how to play to a metronome. So now we've got like as close to a professional sounding set as we could get it. And we took a lot of advice from our producer, Ross Johnson, who did the EP. He taught me how to do the backing tracks. He taught me how to do the clicks. He taught me how to set up the in-ear system. So doing all that kind of delayed things further. Like we could have been ready to go back out there middle of this year, but with this new system, we were like, let's really, delay it a little bit more and get ourselves ready to go with this system. That way every show can be consistent.
Right. And another thing to bring up is I think the band really was kind of evolving as far as me and Hayden's guitar sound, because me and Hayden were very straight up tube amp, bring speaker cabinets to the shows type players. And we did so much deliberation as far as going to modelers, because not only does it save time on your back and show setup and disassemble times, but it also it sounds damn near spot on to the real damn thing. And I told myself that I told Hayden, I was like, dude, I'm never going to a modeler. But once I got my hands on a quad Cortex, it's changed my sound, my life, and like just the way I play guitar. It's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, the guitar player from Eva Under Fire actually helped me get my head rush set up. So when I found out they were using quad Cortexes, I was like, oh, we got to get into this. So yeah, it's pretty much we have a clean stage apart from that, so that kind of helps.
It is nice, yeah.
Yeah, Rob's a player, and I think a lot of guys, if they can get on and get off real quick, that's definitely.
I'm sitting here pointing to my Helix. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been
and
playing
like
the Helix.
even if you're headlining, right? Like even if you're headlining, you can just leave your board up there,
exactly,
and just move it to the front page. And like I got really inspired by it because back in April I saw Disturbed in Gulfport, or it was either Gulfport or Biloxi. It was one of those. But like I saw
the Mississippi Gulf Coliseum.
Yeah, that's
with Plush.
Okay, yeah.
And I saw Dan Donegan was using, I believe it was a quad Cortex, and he might have had like some cabs in the back of the stage, but that was it. There was nothing else on the stage, and I told Tyler, that's what I want. Like we can have a big bass rig all we want, but I think guitar rigs should stay minimal. That way it's easy to tear down and set up. But then at the same time, we have all these sounds available at our feet.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
So
man. I could take a Strat. Yeah. I could take my Strat and my Helix, and it sounds like I have like 6 different guitars. So it's very cool.
It's awesome. And like me and Hayden were like very Marshall heavy users. He's the JCM 800 guy, and I've always been I like JVMs, but also I think the JCM 2000 is probably one of my favorite amps of all time. And I actually I'm glad we got on the topic of amps, because I used to always love Marty Friedman back in Megadeth days. He used to use a Blue Voodoo, a Crate Blue Voodoo, and I know Crate gets a lot of flack.
Yeah, they did.
But I have to say, dude, man, that Blue Voodoo, whenever it worked correctly, dude, it was fucking awesome.
Well, in the 80s,
dude, everything that you can imagine that has happened bad to a guitar player has happened to me on stage.
Oh man,
can confirm.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it's great to evolve from my early rock stage, so to speak, like in that amp phase, then going to the Marshalls, and then now going to the modelers, where now, I used to play PRS. Now I'm back home with Ibanez, and Hayden can confirmly say that I have a strange obsession with Japanese-built prestige Ibanez guitars. They're fantastic, and I've actually kind of moved towards like a more British-sounding amp, which is the Victory Kraken, and it's like blown me away tenfold.
We need to. I was telling Hayden this. You'll need to make a little swing out west And
absolutely,
we got a place for you to stay. Obviously, it's Hayden. Hayden could tell you about that day. He stayed at the he stayed at the old Shea Sashery. You'll have to stay at the new one this time, but
yeah. I remember that stay very well. I remember waking up that morning and Call of Duty World War II had just come out, and I remember I was watching you play it, Doug, and because I was sleeping on the couch in your game room, and I remember waking up and just watching you play that for like several hours.
Wow!
Come on, man. That's not true. Wait, that is definitely true. But yeah, no, they. I met. I can't remember. Were you just fill-in at the time, or were you with the other LA? I can't remember.
It was kind of a
hard gun,
a unique setup with them. It was kind of a switch in, switch out type deal, where I would play with them for a bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're fine, Andy.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I thought I was breaking up. I was kind of just switch in, switch out, where like I would play a couple shows with them, and then I'd sit out for a little bit, and then I'd go back. Eventually, I kind of like, I think everybody kind of realized that wasn't really sustainable. So amicably, we parted ways. But at the time, like I was kind of doing show on, show off type deal with them. So when people ask me if I was with the other LA, it's like yes and no. Like I was kind of a fill-in, kind of a touring guitarist type deal.
Yeah, that's why I kind of figured. Yeah, you got to get up there with CJ. Didn't CJ play? Get on there for a song or two with y'all before?
Oh man, that was probably the most surreal experience ever. Was playing with CJ because I'm an academic counselor. Like when I have students, I remember I've got a little frame with the 2 guitar picks that he gave me on my desk, and so it's a conversation piece. Students will come into my office and they'll be like, "Oh, those are nice guitar picks," and I got a story to tell them, right? So. Like I tell them, like that was probably the most humbling experience ever because CJ, when he's up on stage, he's a big kid, right? Like he's a kid in a candy store, and it's so cool because that energy is contagious, both as an audience member and then as a band member when you're up there with him. And he was one of the most down to earth. Like I was really nervous about getting up there with him because I was so scared that he wasn't going to, think much of me. But after that first show in Metairie, I played with him, man, it was awesome. I've been dying to get out there and play a show with CJ again.
Yeah, he's a great guy, dude. And I remember that. I
can't say enough.
Mm-hmm. No, he's definitely down to earth, and yeah, I mean, if you ever been to a Johnny Pool show, you know the energy's there. It is contagious, definitely. You feel it.
Oh, yeah.
Kicking you and punching you in the face.
He's one of those guys that when you talk to him off stage, he makes you happy that you're a Drowning Pool fan because of how cool he is.
Yeah, he's very cool.
Right? Like he makes you feel like he's genuinely talking to you because he wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
And I can say the same thing about the other guys in Drowning Pool too. Like they're all
very nice.
They're all like that. They're one of those bands that like they could play a stadium and it could be their 1,000th time playing a stadium, but you'd never know because their energy, it just feels like it's their first time doing it. You can tell they haven't lost any of the passion that they do it and that they have for this. And that's one of the many things I respect about CJ and Johnny Pool.
Yeah, and although they're like big kids up there, they're freaking killing it, tight as hell.
Oh yeah,
just freaking putting on a clinic.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, what I know y'all have a show coming up. Is it in Baton Rouge? Yes,
sir. It's at Chelsea's Live, January 3rd. We're gonna be playing with some other locals. Some longtime friends of ours, Swamp Stank, are gonna be headlining. And then we have 2 newer bands to the scene that kind of came up and gained popularity while we were on the bench. And so we're going to be playing with them for the first time. I'm really excited about that because as much as I love Swamp Stank, I've never played with Brandon for Exile or Damon Grimm, and those bands are both killer. So I think I speak for everybody in Voice of the Enemy when I say like we're really, really honored for that of all places and lineups to be our first show back.
Are they?
Right. And we've gotten tons of support from like fans, like it's crazy how we got our pre-sale tickets, and I kid you not, sold out in the first week that we had them.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
I think I looked at the address. It's around LSU, isn't it?
Yep, it's just down the road, I think.
Is it on Nicholson?
Right down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 13th gate pastime. It's like you could throw a football to Chelsea's from there.
Yeah, I was looking at that. And I was like, that's a possibility, man. Yeah, in fact, that's most of those area bands. Are they all Baton Rouge based or New Orleans?
I think Damon only one that's not local to Baton Rouge. I think they're from New Orleans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That speaks good of the up and coming music scene there, man. Like I said, dude, y'all have some fantastic music. You just need to get out and get people to hear it.
Are y'all using any of the electronic drums in live now? Now that y'all used it on the EP?
So we do. We had the electronic kit on the EP, but now that Zach has his drum kit back, we do plan eventually on getting like one of those hybrid kits, like what Fozzy uses and things like that. Because Zach, has said many times he wants to get one of those, but it's nothing like that we think is going to make or break our live sound like the modelers did.
Right.
It's more just like it would be for convenience's sake, but no, we would be doing all acoustic kit. The most technologically advanced part of our set is that we use an iPad to run the tracks.
Yeah.
But that's very simplified compared to how some bands run backing tracks, because they have like whole setups like with laptops and everything. So we're running a very dumbed down version of what.
Do you have to run a direct box with that to get enough signal?
With the intermonitor setup? No, we actually don't. So
that's
we
right.
go straight through. We go straight into our microphone splitter.
Nice.
And then we run a split out to front of house.
That's cool.
And then there's a line for the click too, but obviously we don't run that. So that's how we get it to where it's in our ears with the click and the track. Yeah. And front of house only track.
Very cool.
It blew my mind when we first did it. I was like, I can't believe it was this easy the whole time.
Yeah, I mean that sounds pretty simple. So yeah, why not?
Yeah. Now I gotta ask y'all, Hayden, how'd you get your start in music? Because I can't remember if I've ever asked you that before.
Man, that's a complicated question. I think to keep it simple, my dad was a country musician back in the 90s. And so I was pretty much around music my entire life. Even after my mom and dad split, I would go to see my dad every other weekend. And my dad was always out playing music. He would have band members at the house and everything like that. So I was always around it. And when I was about 10, Doug, you know that Les Paul I played, the gold top with the white hardware?
Yeah.
Yeah. He gave me that guitar.
Damn.
Nice.
And it's a 76 Les Paul Deluxe. I still have it. I use it in the studio now.
That's a nice fresh guitar.
It's so old. Oh my God. It means the world to me. It's definitely got the most mojo out of all the guitars I have. But I don't use it live anymore because it means so much to me. So I retired it. It's now a studio guitar. But I tracked all the guitars on Martyr with it, or on Martyr and Mannequin of Misery with it.
Nice.
But yeah, so I got that guitar, and that was pretty much my gateway drug, so to speak, into playing music. I started getting into like Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax, the big four. And then I kind of started graduating up to heavier stuff. By the time I got to college, I was into everything from Metallica and Megadeth to Amon Amarth, Arch Enemy, Bullet for My Valentine. And now I'm getting really into groups like Slaughter to Prevail, Lorna Shore, like all these newer bands, Bad Omens that are coming out. That's sort of my pathway, so to speak. And now I'm getting into producing too and learning how to mix and master.
Yeah.
Good deal. Now, what about you, Tyler? What brought you into music, man?
What possessed you?
So
that.
Oh man, it's a good possession.
Yeah, it is.
So whenever I was younger, my father would always play heavier rock. Rest his soul. He's been left my life at 13, but left very good memories on me. I hope people don't think negatively of this, but he introduced me to Trapped when I was like very, very young. And
wow.
I sort of just fell in absolute love with them for some strange reason. I just thought he played it so much that I started learning the lyrics. And say what you will about them, but like their lyrics just captivated me as a young kid. And
That's a good band,
I just
man.
started. I mean, yeah, I've always liked their songs, but they're not the only ones that did it for me. I mean, James Hetfield, Metallica, as most young kids would say, you know, around that era, would tell you that James Hetfield of Metallica is their hero. Which, I mean, he is very much my hero. So it kind of went from, you know, the stud bracelets with listening to Korn and Slipknot, Metallica, and, you know, elementary school going into the high school and adult years. I branched off very much into, I mentioned earlier that I'm an Ibanez player. So your Paul Gilbert, Steve Vai, Marty Friedman, Tony McAlpine, you know, all these,
Oh wow,
you know, Joe
Tony McAlpine.
Satriani, oh yeah, all these like legendary,
those legends for sure.
top notch. Yeah, they're fantastic virtuoso, you know, guitar players. So I've always mixed in like a kind of like a virtuosity to my play style, and it's really just developed into now I'm a very big Rabia Massad fan, and in that progressive metal phase that I've so much adored this last several years, and it's kind of just blossomed from there ever since, really.
Heck yeah, man.
It's a good path.
Yeah. And now what about the drummer? What can you tell us about this new drummer?
Zach. So Zach is kind of a veteran to our scene. Actually, he's been, from what he's told me, he's been in the scene since like early mid 2000s. He used to play with a band called Black Creole. It was a punk band, which was lovingly the most challenging part of working with him in the best way possible. I don't mean to say it made it a struggle. It didn't. It just made it a welcome challenge, because with punk drummers, you know how punk is. It's very fast. It's very aggressive. So getting his style to work with this music, it fit very well. We just had to find the pieces to make it fit. And so him being a punk drummer, he really rose to the occasion with this newer stuff. But yeah, he's from Houma, so he's from the Bayou. And he's probably one of the most down to earth guys you'll ever meet in your life. He'll have a whole conversation with like I guess the saying goes, he's never met a stranger.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Are you going to give some kind of good backstory, like he was conceived at the brick house or something like that?
I think he did cut his teeth at the brick house.
I miss that place, man. That was I met somebody from Houma today. I was actually talking about the brick house with, man. That was a heck of a club. In the middle of nowhere.
That's way on the coast.
Played there with CJ once. Back when I was with the other LA, we played over there.
Yep, sure did.
It was a hell of a venue, man. That was a cool place. But yeah, Zach cut his teeth out there playing at the brick house, and I mean he's been in the scene longer than me and Tyler have for sure. So I mean he's definitely a veteran. He's been out there, a lot, and like he might be next to Stephanie. He's probably the most experienced drummer we've ever worked with. Because Stephanie had been in the scene just as long as Zach has. So yeah, his punk background definitely is what his trademark is, I think, and I think that's probably one of my favorite parts of working with him.
I got one more question basically for you.
I got a question.
Go ahead. You
are y'all playing mostly 6 strings, or y'all delve into the 7 string like low tunings, or like where y'all kind of on that?
Michael has that's a very good question. I appreciate that. Michael has definitely, our bass player, has definitely wanted to experiment with 7 strings. I personally, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not 7 string ready. I'm at home with a 6 string. I'm not opposed to playing a 7 string, but it's definitely crossed our mind. It's just a matter of breaking that threshold, really. I think adding that 7th string to an instrument just kind of the learning curve personally for me is that I have to dive wholeheartedly 100% into adding that extra layer, so to speak,
It's
to
not
the
as
instrument
crazy as
and
it
to
seems.
the music.
Yeah, it's not as
Yeah,
it's
and
not as bad as it
I feel like
seems.
it is.
Yeah.
Right, and I feel like I'm overthinking about it.
Yeah.
Um,
If you've been playing for
it's
a
not that we're
while,
not.
you'll get it pretty quick.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I agree. It's not that we don't want to. It's just we just haven't really dove head first, so to speak.
So most of your stuff, is it in standard tuning or drop tuning or C or
most of it's in drop C
Drop
or
C.
drop C sharp.
Cool.
Those are the
C and C sharp.
Those are the two tunings we use, but we have talked about doing some standard tuning stuff. Like I grew up listening to a lot of Black Label Society, so it's like even like Zach Wilde would tune his guitar all the way down to drop A,
right?
And he would just have a regular Les Paul that he'd play in drop A. So most of the stuff, if I do write in a lower tuning, I'll just throw a heavier set of strings on my guitar and tune it down. But yeah, like Tyler said, like it has come up to start using 7 strings, and I'm just like that. Like I've been playing a 6 string for about 20 years now, so it would be a huge learning curve. But you saying that
it won't, I promise you, it won't.
I really want to get my hands on one now.
Yeah, you should try, man. I think it's very cool. I would probably stray away from active pickups, though. I don't know if you guys use active pickups, but I'd probably stay with
big active pickup.
What was that?
Hayden's an EMG kind of guy.
Oh, yeah?
I'm a big EMG.
You are?
Every guitar I play live has EMGs.
Yeah, it just depends what guitar, and strings, too. It's a big balancing act, of course.
Yeah, I would say.
But yeah, give it a try, man. I think you'd dig it.
If you like guitars, go out and see that damn band. Go see Voice of the Enemy, because, man, it is really music that I love, the style of music I love, and it's fantastic.
Are you on metal or thrash metal? Progressive?
We're kind of going more into the metal core type stuff with like harmonized guitars and stuff, but we to kind of keep things simple, because it is such a big a big like melting pot of different coming together. We just tell people we're hard rock metal, just to keep things nice and simple.
Just keep it simple for guys like me. Don't put too many labels on new metal, this metal. Just keep it simple.
I know, like metal and like thrash metal, kind of progressive metal. That's kind of the 3 for me.
Well, it's amazing that with all this music and stuff, Hayden's also a professor. Are you still a professor?
I'm actually not a professor. I'm an academic counselor. I won't say the university's name on the pod, just for for privacy reasons. But
is it the one? Is it the one I know though?
Yes,
probably.
it's the one you know.
Yeah.
I'm an academic counselor. Basically, what I do is work with students. I help them pick schedules for the following semester. I tell them, I help them understand their catalogs and their curriculums and everything like that. And I kind of fell into doing that because when I was in graduate school, I got the opportunity to do it as a graduate assistant. Basically, what a graduate assistantship is, like you get paid by the university to go to school.
Yeah,
and it was a pretty sweet deal. But my assistantship was advising students, and I didn't know the first thing about it. I had never been interested in it. I had actually gotten into a counseling program at Southeastern, and I was there for about a week until I realized I made a huge mistake. This wasn't what I wanted to do, for half of my life, So I kind of dove into my GA, and I realized I really liked it. It was kind of the balancing act between wanting to be a professor and wanting to be a counselor, like a therapist. So I dove into that, and then switched my study to psychology, and I ended up getting my master's in that. And as soon as I'm fresh out of grad school, I hit the ground running, and I started working as an academic counselor, and haven't looked back. I absolutely love that.
So just because it. No, I'm just going to say, just Rob was pointing at me.
I was saying, but he is a metal professor.
Yeah, well, he is. He's an educated musician as well.
Yeah.
He's got a few of those stacked on top of each other, man. But
and what I love about it is that I can be like, I feel like my philosophy is that every person kind of has to have a couple things they have their hands in, right? Like, I feel like the more pursuits a person has that they're good at, I think it really helps somebody's confidence.
It does.
And being in the day job that I'm in, you know, I was very fortunate and blessed to fall into this career path, so to speak, because it helps me to kind of flex my left brain, my logical thinking brain, and then the music helps me to you know, flex my right brain, my creative side. And you know, having both of those coexist at the same time is easier than one would think, because it's seamless, right? Like the two bleed into each other very, very nicely.
Totally.
And so yeah, that's I'm very passionate about what I do, and I love every second of it.
Well, you know,
that's very cool.
It comes out in the music, man. I can definitely hear it. But we want to appreciate y'all and thank y'all for coming on this week, and we definitely will plug your music. Like I said, anywhere you want to check out Voice of the Enemy, they're there. You can find their music. You can find them on social media, and go out and see them, because they're going to be scheduling some live dates.
Maybe we get some videos on YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to update our YouTube catalog.
Yeah.
We have some pictures.
Those videos are very, very old.
Man, that's where everybody goes, looks for videos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, check out Voice of the Enemy, and want to thank everybody for listening to the podcast. Please,
thanks, guys.
Please like and subscribe their pages and ours for sure. And that is it. We're out of here.
Later, guys.
Thank y'all so much for having us.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you very much. I just wanted to make a shout out to you guys for having us on. Hayden, love you like a brother. Our drummer, Zach Cook, fantastic drummer. Love you, brother. And our bass player, Michael Ellisar, he's another brother of ours. We love each other very much, and so thankful for y'all's time and this opportunity. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Dude, yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody.
Happy holidays, guys.
That's true. And yeah, guys, hold on. Yeah, you can hold on a second. He's going to clip it off. I didn't want y'all to hang up until